Okie doke. So we are now recording. Welcome to the team call tonight. We're going to cover about the pipeline. Oh,
Well, we
excuse
are
me.
going to cover the pipeline, but before we do that, anybody got any wins this week?
Yeah,
Let's
who's
just
had
cover
a win?
wins and challenges, because these are the things that make the difference in terms of what you get and what you are getting, and the things that happen in your business and your business development that maybe we can all help with, because that improves across the board by doing it. So, anybody got any wins? Anybody got any challenges?
Sort of.
A sort of win. Come on then, share with it.
Let's go, Paul.
Yeah, no, I've just really sort of ploughed into LinkedIn for I had all those names and that, and I've spoken to 45 people this week. So
well done.
so far.
Well,
yeah.
Actually spoken to them.
Sorry, I mean, obviously messaging.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're all very happy people. So all very approachable for different things.
Right.
So it's it took me a bit of time to get going, but when I actually got going, because I don't just send a bland message. What I do is I will send a message that relates to their profile.
Yeah. So much the same as I do.
Which takes a long time.
Yeah. I know.
So,
you can't just blanket it, then, can you? No, I agree with you.
But that's a big part of my 100 conversations I'm going to have, and I will have a conversation with them. So.
Excellent.
Cool. That's great.
Excellent. And we're still up for Friday, yeah?
Yep.
Excellent. Right. Look forward to seeing you Friday. Just let's welcome Ruth along. Dermot, we're still trying to get Dermot's Ultimate paid for. Unfortunately, the gentleman who purchased it or is in the process of purchasing it is actually in hospital. So it's a little bit awkward at the moment. So we're going to have to hopefully sort that by the end of the month, which will be very good. But he's been busy. I know he's been busy, haven't you, Dermot? Arranging appointments and everything. So I know that you've got appointments with Nigel to do tomorrow.
Yep.
So yeah, keep going and keep doing it. That's the most important thing. How about you, Bobby? Have you got any wins this week?
Yes, I had such a good presentation, one-on-one, like with just me and the owner of the gym in my high street, on my high street. He's loving everything what he heard, but he didn't have a time more than 15 minutes, so we have to book a business presentation for him. And he's into supplements. He likes the idea to offer that to his customers. Only like he thinks now he's too busy, but that's normal because he doesn't know the value of the
but also you can show him the benefits then, that if he actually does get busy with it, then it can actually maybe give him more time to spend on doing something he really enjoys, but and improving his income.
Exactly. He needs to.
Excellent. Well done, Bobby.
He needs to learn more.
Has anybody had a challenge that they've found difficult to overcome? Well, that's
positive.
Good. That's good.
Good.
That's great.
Okay, so Tom, I know that I've been speaking to two of your people or two of your prospects. I'm hoping to speak to Joe by the end of the week, and also Caroline again at the end of the week. So I did a presentation with her today. Because it was so disjointed today, I didn't let you know that it was happening, but we know it was fine. She was pretty good. And Joe, hopefully at the end of the week. So I've sent him some information to look at, and then obviously we just need to reconnect by the end of this week. How about you, Ruth? I know that you were saying that you've been active at the beginning of the week.
Yeah, had a good day today. Got a meeting booked for tomorrow.
Well
done. That's it so far.
Okay. Do you need help with that?
No,
okay.
Not tomorrow.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
we're here if you need us. That's the most important thing. We're here if you need us. Kelly, how are you getting on? I know you're driving at the moment, so might have to excuse you. I know you've got a number of irons in the fire. And so it's just really, whether we can get some over the line before the end of the month, which would be great. She's already qualified for the 200% ECB, as is Tom, and hopefully by the end of the month, Dermot as well. So it's, kind of making sure that you try and, or not try, you aiming for that constantly. So don't give up.
We're going to talk about the pipeline in a minute, because that's the secret to all of this. At the end of the day, it's not being reliant on one or two people that you're talking to. It's having enough, so that those who are saying no or kicking the can down the road don't matter too much. Because if the more you invest in the one that you think is going to turn you into a millionaire, the more likely it is that doesn't happen, bizarrely, because that's just the way it works. So the secret's to fill the pipeline, and we'll cover a little bit of that in a minute. And
if people, I know David Adkin, he's got a course that he's doing at the moment, so he's not able to come on here today at 7 o'clock, but he will replay the recording. But it's kind of quite often, we've got a group of, I think within the Flawless Diamond group, we're kind of about 40 people or whatever. But we've got more partners than that. But some have chosen not to be in the group. But look how many are on board here. Not many.
Not enough.
Not enough. Not as many. And unfortunately, the ones who need to be on the call aren't. So, and it's not about beating yourself up because you haven't managed to achieve something. It's about actually finding a way that you can achieve it, and it might be one little thing that we say or Nigel says that actually kind of goes, you're right, that's what I need to do, or can we help in that way?
And let me add the secret sauce. The secret sauce is use the three-way in all events. The three-way.
Yeah, it is powerful. It really is powerful.
I say this a lot, as you all know. So I'm just going to repeat myself, but repetition is the art of learning at the end of it. Spaced repetition is the art of learning. It's also the art of advertising, by the way. Yeah. Ian Ogilvy, who wrote the seminal work on all advertising, essentially coined the phrase that spaced repetition is the answer to all of it. I forget exactly how he put it, but what he was really saying is that you've got to repeat and repeat and repeat, because people don't pick things up first time. And probably Lord Leverhulme put it in. He was the guy who founded Lever Brothers, Unilever as it is now, one of the biggest personal care companies in the world, soaps and washing cosmetics, and you name it, they've got fingers in it, food as well. And he said, I know 50% of my advertising works. The problem is, I don't know which 50. So when you think about that, what he's saying is you can put a message out, but you don't know which elements of the message are actually affecting the audience that you want to attract. And it's no different for us. We're essentially putting our message out to people and repeating that message again and again and again and again. And some people receive it.
Sorry about the dogs barking.
Many don't. But as time goes by, people begin to receive the same message in different ways, and ultimately that's where the change gets driven, or is driven from, because we all see things, we begin to see things in a different light the more it's repeated to us. So if you think about this, put it in this way: when I was a kid, there was no drink driving problem, only because there was no law that says there was one. And it wasn't until they started to look at the statistics of people dying and getting injured because of drinkers on the road that they introduced the law of stopping people from drinking too much. And yet still, when I was a kid, so many of my mates got done for drink driving. And I guess I might say I was quite lucky in a way, because I was brought up in that era where, drinking was still acceptable. Pubs were on every corner, pretty much. You could go and have a few pints in a pub and drive to another one and have some more. And as a consequence of that, you stood a risk, ultimately, of becoming a drink driver. And so many of my pals managed that. Now, drink driving is one of the things people just don't do because it's socially unacceptable.
Yeah.
So, and that's through the repetition process of it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. So values have changed. And that's the point. People's perception of what they need, what they want, is driven by that spaced repetition that says this is for you. So when you think about that in terms of where we are in terms of our eating habits, Sue and I are old enough to remember, you know, my mum shopped every day when I was a kid, literally every day. We went down, we bought what was fresh, we had that. It was just the way it was after the war. Because I was born in 54, we were both born in 54, so we still did all those things. Now you just don't do that. You go to the supermarket, you pluck a ready-made meal off the shelf and you stick it in the microwave and away you go.
Well, some people do.
And that's, well, some people do, we don't do that.
No.
But some people do, and that's driven over time this health outcome that we're all suffering from. The whole, well, certainly the advanced nations are suffering from, which is way too much omega-6, and that's the problem we're all trying to solve, or part of the problem we're trying to solve. So what I'm saying here is it's about repetition. It's about spaced repetition that brings a level of understanding that produces the change. And that's no different for the message we're now putting out in terms of you've sleepwalked your way into where you are, but consciously we've got to change our thinking in terms of where we want to go. And that's actually also true of us as partners with Zinzino, because we're doing the stuff we do, but actually one of the secrets to doing it right is
to keep doing it.
It's to use us.
Use us, yeah. But what Paul was saying also was that it's taken him a while to get into the gist of, you know, talking either what do I send to this person? How do I phrase that? How do I do this? But the more you do it, the easier it becomes. You're obviously very hot there, Bobby, because you're wafting yourself constantly.
She's in the eaves.
I've been working 12 hours today. The bus was 40 degrees, and I came 5 minutes before the meeting.
God bless you.
So
it's a bit hot today, isn't it? It's lovely. But what's interesting, the more you do it, however uncomfortable you feel at that particular time, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And then it's not really, you still have the same concerns, you still have the same fears, but you don't let it bother you. And I've worked with Kelly, I've worked with Ruth, Dermot, and we know that less is more. Less is more, big time.
Say less and use us.
Yeah. Anthony, I just want to ask you a question. I don't know whether you're able to answer me at the moment. How have you started mentioning it to anyone in the USA? Because obviously you're out in the States now, in Indiana, and have you started to approach people on it?
Not yet.
Yeah, I have mentioned it to a couple of people. Although I think the people I've only mentioned it to a couple, haven't got to quite a lot of people yet.
No, that's fair enough.
They would they said that they have their own kind of fish oil, but it's not in a liquid kind of, it's
yeah. And so the question to ask them is how do you know that's working then? And they've not, because they won't have a test validated one like we do. And you, for all intents and purposes, as a professional footballer, thought you were going to be squeaky clean and pretty good. You weren't, were you? No. So I can't remember what it was, 35 to 1 or 32 to 1. I can't remember what it was now. But it was 35. So we've got some work to do on you. But also, if they're in the USA, we know that a majority of the people who actually are there, we know you're 100%, Tony. Can you, in fact, I'd love to share with you. Yes.
I was about to say, stop being smug.
I don't know whether you're able to, if I make you co-host, Tony he's probably the most educated person on nutrition that I knew. And so I've been after him for quite some time. He did take his first test as a customer, came back as, I'm making you co-host, so you can share your results if you will. Came back as 3 to 1. He was one of the 2 people who came back at 3 to 1. Now Tony's decided to become a partner, and he said, well, you know, hadn't been taking the products for a while, but he continued to take a product, but wasn't the Zinzino's product. And he has come back absolutely spot on, and talk about 100%, you know, protection. I can't remember, was it 1 point something, 1.4 or something, 1.5?
Hang on, I'll be back.
Tony, what were your results? I've made you co-host if you're able to share that.
Just a minute, so I'm just trying to find it.
Okay, thank you.
I've got it on file here somewhere.
Because I mean, and because he'd been out of the loop with Zinzino for a couple of years. So in COVID, I think it was, you actually stopped taking it, didn't you? And
well, I've always taken one. Is that mine or is that example? I've always taken one. But it was a while, ages ago, since I last took Zinzino's.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when I signed back up again in May, obviously, if you remember, I ordered that Premier Oil.
Yeah.
Because I was having fun and games with DVLA.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to give me out some TLC. And I think this is it. Right, so yeah, it is.
You'll need to share your screen.
I'll share my screen.
Yeah, so down at the bottom you'll see a green share screen. So just click on that.
And I've been taking the product for about 10 days, and then all my products turned up. And I took a test, but I've been taking, that was it. I did a 100ml bottle of the normal oil.
Yeah.
Because that was it, wasn't it? Premier Oil got lost.
That's right, yeah, it
They
did.
sent me another bottle.
Yeah.
So when my kit first arrived, I used up a 100ml bottle in a week, which is par for the course.
Yeah.
It took me about 6 days, I think. And then I started taking that Premier.
Yeah.
And I timed it because I had to go into town for something else. So I took the test and it coincided and I couldn't nip to the post office. That was it.
Yeah.
That's why I delayed. But I've been taking the Premier. I took the normal 100ml bottle for about 6 days. And then for about 5 or 6 days, I've been taking 15ml of the Premier.
Yeah.
And then when I got my test back, that were the results that I got that I shared with you.
Yeah.
So share screen. I ain't got share screen button, so.
Okay, so at the bottom of the screen.
Oh, I've got it.
You got it. Share screen. Wakey, Paul.
So there you go.
Hang on a minute. It's just going to come up in a
there
second.
yet.
Be there in a second.
That's not mine.
Oh.
Or is that last test that I took?
I don't know. I'll see I'll see. I can't see anything.
That must have been the first one I did.
No, Tony, I can't see anything.
We can't see it.
Well, I don't know why. I've shared my screen.
It says you've started, but it's not there at the moment.
Well, it might not have loaded then. Because it's saying stop share here.
Oh,
well, stop share and try again.
I guess he needs to open his video.
Yeah, Tony, you can got
you
your video
haven't
on.
got your video on.
That's a good point, Bobby. Thank you. There you go.
Right, now
share your screen.
It's still not doing it.
Well, I'm
Have
sharing.
you got 2 screens, Tony?
Have I got what?
2 screens.
No, he's not like you, darling.
No.
Okay, don't worry. So perhaps you could just read them through.
Just describe it.
So your protection level was what?
Right, this is my very first one. This from.
So that would be 3 to 1, wouldn't it?
This is the 29th of 10th, 2019 one.
Okay, all right, okay. Don't worry, we'll have a look at it. Don't worry about it. So don't share your screen now, so you're fine.
But I come back there as balanced 3 to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's been one of the 2 that have actually come back in balance as customers. And I've only had one other practitioner who came back at 3 to 1. And so I was very well impressed initially, kind of that you were so good, Tony, so well done. But he's even come back even better now. And I'm going, blimey, O'Reilly, that's amazing. So you know, it proves that it can actually, is as long as you need to be able to maintain it. But it's again, what a score. We'll have to post it in, if you would, if you are happy to do that, in the Flawless Diamond group, Tony, and then we can all go, wow, you were amazing.
What do you mean I am amazing?
Well, okay. You are amazing. All right, okay, thank you. But it's a real eye-opener when you see what a difference it can make to someone. And, you know, kind of we're dealing with people who, you know, like Tone Anthony down here, who was 35 to 1, and he's a professional sports person.
Right, I've got my latest one here.
Oh, all right, share it again then.
Right, balance 1.5 to 1.
Yeah.
Protection value 100% optimal.
Yeah.
Omega-3 index 10.1 optimal.
Fantastic.
Mental strength optimal 0.8 to 1.
Excellent.
Cell membrane fluidity optimal 4 to 1.
Fantastic.
And arachnophobia.
Arachidonic.
7.7%. I know it says arachidonic.
Well,
it's so much easier to say arachnophobia.
Yeah,
I know. It's but that's amazing. So well done you. But again, I've never known someone who's not a practitioner know so much about nutrition, and I've known Tony for many, or we have known Tony for many years, and he's always been the most knowledgeable person on.
Yeah, but in fairness, Sue, it is only anecdotal. It's all ever been for my own personal research.
Of course, yeah.
You
No, I
know, because
appreciate that.
it's not academic or therapeutic as such.
Yeah. But it's just how you can improve, and it just if your body's winning, then it's actually, you know, beneficial for you. But the reason we want it, I'm just going kind of, that was a bit of an aside, but if we share screens, and let me, where's it gone? Where's your, oh, here.
Excuse me, I'm going back into my chili kim prawn balti.
Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, that's
why I've turned my camera off. I'm not being ignorant.
No. Where's your? I'm just trying to find your.
Just haven't.
Yeah, no, I'm just sharing it now.
Stop.
Give me a break.
Now, children.
Yeah. Now, right.
This is a challenge with someone.
Yeah. Oh, right. So this is
who drives.
This is the
better than others.
Thanks, babe. Right, you can take over now.
I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Yes, you do.
What am I looking at?
It's the pipeline, you little git.
Right.
You're on those.
I wanted. It struck me that there isn't a depth of understanding in the plan that there needs to be and there should be, and I'm probably more at fault than most. Because when we first got involved with Zinzino, I looked at the plan in some depth, and I got the gist of it and the concept overall, but I didn't understand the depth of it. And I guess it's like anything else. At the end of the day, you know, the more you understand, the deeper the understanding is.
You uncover another layer.
Yeah, absolutely. You do. You're exactly right. You uncover layers of things that you don't recognize when you first look at it. Right? It's this thing about the wood and the trees in many ways. And actually, when I started to understand it in depth, it took a very long time because, and I'm going to be critical actually, there isn't a training anywhere that I know of, either corporate or by partner, that explains this plan in the way it should be.
Well, there's something for you to do.
Well, yes, you're right, but I actually also understand the reason for it, because it is it's not so much complicated, it's complex.
Yeah.
And in terms of the way to understand it, but when you boil it down, you will all hear me talk about how to get to diamond. You need 16 qualifying silvers in your organization, properly split on your 2 lines of business. That takes you diamond. So in many ways, this plan is incredibly simple, because by doing it in that way, You can understand what you need for silver. How many points do you need? 750. That you break down between 250 on one side, 500 on the other. That's a qualifying silver. And that silver will essentially generate a certain amount of income and contribute the points towards your own rank improvement. If you create 16 of those, actually you can get away with 15, but 16 is a good number. If you create 16 of those, balanced in the right way, takes you diamond. And diamond is a key position because actually it generates a greater percentage of the overall volume within your organization at that position than any other in the entire plan. And that's because of the €1,000 car bonus. Now you don't really need to understand that bit, it doesn't matter too much, but the average income, as you know from the chart, is somewhere around £3,000 to £4,000 a month. That's the most lucrative position to achieve. So here's the second element of where the growth happens, is you create silvers and then you create diamonds, which are all achievable for pretty much anyone, even if they're part-time, and it can take you to wherever you want to end up within the plan. But most people don't really fully appreciate what that means in real terms. So this small presentation, which I'm going to quickly cover, talks about the earnings potential based on the actual structure of the plan you have when you join as a partner with Zinzino. Because of course there's you, as you see on the left here, we're going to talk about teams, 2, 3, 4 teams as we move through this. But we're starting from the left with just this simplistic model of you and A and B. Because A and B are actually you in real terms. But those U's are hidden in terms of the way the plan operates to begin with. Because you actually get 3 business centers when you sign on as a Zinzino partner. But those business centers remain dormant until you activate them. But they're dormant in a way which means that points still accumulate within them. And that's the secret of leveraging your income overall in a way which you probably don't understand, don't realize. And we didn't for a very, very, very long time. Why?
No one told us.
Well,
no one told us, and it was like, oh, the light really dawned. And I think one of the things that one of the partners, Peter de Moor, who's a Netherlands guy, and he's a
Black Crown.
Black Crown.
But he makes more than most
Black Crowns.
No, he makes more than most black ambassadors.
Okay.
Because he's leveraged the plan.
He's a numbers man.
And I'm going to show you how he's done it to leverage the plan.
Right.
And this is now common knowledge, but this is not shared very much. Yeah, move on.
Yeah. Okay.
So here's the maximum income potential.
Right. So
and this is the bit that people don't understand. We've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 teams. What you see in the top line circles, on the left, you've got you and the AB team, which is what we all understand. We've got 2 lines of business, A and B, and we build those in order to achieve the ranks that, we understand in terms of the volume overall. So if you can you move these people out of the way?
Yeah,
because I can't see the bottom.
I know it's a bit difficult, really, when you've got. Let me I'll tell you what. I'm just going to turn them
off. That's it.
Can't just turned you off, so we can't see you, and you can't see.
And we now need to get rid of this.
Yeah. Okay. So let me do that.
Get rid of
Let me hide floating.
Oh, there we go. So when we're looking at in terms of the left side is you, A and B, your 2 sides of your business. We've got the 2 teams and the maximum income based on a Black Crown rank at 27,300. And we're going to talk about the leverage for a moment. When we start to look at it in terms of more teams, now we're looking at activation of teams A and B. Because remember, you've got these 3 business centers. So at the top of each line of your business is another business center, which you which is there. You can see it in your genealogy, but you don't make anything out of until you build a team on the inside of that business. So in the middle column, what we're looking at is the second team. There's you, and then down the left-hand side, you've got U plus A and a new team of C. So let's paint a picture. You're a qualifying diamond. You have the diamond income in the 2 lines of business. You find someone who's a real networker and you place them at the top of your business in your left-hand team in the C position. Now, what's happened there is that the volume from your team leg, which will be the big one, if you've got overflow in the banking, then that banking is sitting there at the top of that leg in the U position underneath your top U position. And now we're starting to build another business as if it were a brand new one with A and C. Now C, as you develop it, every pound of volume that goes through there, you pluck another 2 pounds of volume out of A, because all of that volume that's gone through it from day one, as long as you've stayed active, is accumulated through that line of business. So now for £1 extra, you get £2 from the same side you've already been paid on, and you're being paid on it because of you right at the top of the leg. So you right at the top of the whole business, because that becomes your second team.
But you also should point out the fact that you can really only get to Black Crown with the 2 teams.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, you need to have, to go further, you need to introduce the third leg, if you like, the C leg.
The C tech.
Yeah, the C or the C and the D. So
because to get to ambassador, you've got to have the third team. If you look at the plan, it says you've got to have 10,000 points in that team in order to qualify at ambassador. That's what Dave and Shan did back in November last year. They created a third team that generated the volume necessary, the 10,000 points necessary to take them to ambassador. Now look at the difference in the income at the same levels. You've gone from 27,300 a month to 69,500 a month. Peter DeMoore, as a Black Crown with 4 teams, and I'll come on to what 4 teams are in a second, makes about 50 to 60,000 a month, but he hasn't yet got the volume to go ambassador. But he makes more than the average Black Crown at 27,300 because he's created that third team. So what does this mean? What it really means is you can leverage your business as it gets to the diamond to director point. You bring in that third team through the C position, and you can leverage your income significantly based on the volume that sits in the A leg underneath your primary position.
And I'll show you in our back office exactly what that is in just a minute, so you can see the picture, if you like, because we have put a third leg in, but we haven't actively built it yet.
We haven't actually got someone yet. We're close, but we haven't quite got someone that we're going to work with in that team that we think we can help, and they can help. Together we can make it work in terms of leveraging the volume in this way. So what we end up with 3 teams is Black Ambassador top. You've got to go ambassador you've got to have 3 teams to go ambassador. The top of that is Black Ambassador. In order to go to president, you've got to have the 4th team. What does that mean? Position D, as you see on the far right.
Here. So you've got, here's you, there's your normal business, and then you slot another one in here and another one in here. There.
And you look at the bonuses and the potential. By the way, these are monthly incomes. The The maximum
Well,
income
except for the
protection.
one-time bonuses.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
But the average monthly incomes run across left to right on the top line.
Yeah.
So you're looking at Black Crown, 27,300 euros. That's good income. That's a nice income.
Not too shabby.
No, but with 3 teams, it leaps enormously to nearly 70,000.
Yeah.
And
Massive.
with 4 teams,
254,600. Happy days. So that's really just to show.
hold on a cotton picking minute,
Yeah.
because we're going to blank those out and go to the next level, because the plan doesn't stop. You can have as many teams as you want.
Yeah.
And this illustrates the way the teams can be developed.
So Orion, for instance, who is the lead distributor within the whole business, I don't know how many lines of business he's got, and he hasn't divulged that. But if he's got the A and the B, the C and the D, which he's obviously got because he's
He's a one-star global.
one-star global superstar president, and he's also got E, and he's got F, and he's got G. He may have H, he may have J, he may have K. Who knows?
So here are the income streams. I'm not going to dwell on any of this. All I'm saying to you here is the plan is essentially unlimited. It's all based on the number of teams you create ultimately and the total volume going through it. Now, I want to say a quick word about where Zinzino is overall. This year, by that I mean by the end of the calendar year, the projection is at the moment we're going to be somewhere around 180 to 200 million euros. My suspicion is it'll be 180. It'll be about 190. I don't think it'll hit the 200. If you look, the share price has softened in the last week to 10 days. It's slightly less than 40 SEK per share, and that's not a sentiment issue. It's all to do with the softening of the overall market and the returns that are generated by it. Zinzino's fundamentals have not changed. It's still growing as a business. It's still cash rich as a business. It's got no debt as a business. It's incredibly solid, and the share price is simply driven by sentiment and the expectation of the profit earnings ratio, essentially the multiple of profit based on the multiple of the earnings based on the profit that it generates. And currently it's probably slightly overvalued.
So if you look here, so one-star global president, which is, kind of you're saying 406,000
a month,
200 a month with 5 teams. If you had 6 teams, that would jump up to nearly 600,000. And if you had 7 teams, you're looking at almost, over 750,000 a month. Now, we know that Orion and Hilda are 2-star global presidents. So I would say that that's probably very indicative of what they are earning. They haven't divulged how much they earn, but they are aiming to go 3-star global president.
Well,
so that is nearly, it's over.
Now, hang on, let's just put that into context. Let's think about it like this. That's on a business that's doing last year ended up at about 144 million. Okay, 144 million euros.
Pounds.
160. So I'm thinking euros because these numbers are in euros. So 160 million euros. So we're looking at 160 million euros. Herbalife is about 4.5 billion. Amway is around 9 billion. There are numbers in between that have gone shot up and come down. You can look at Jeunesse, you can look at who else has been in that bracket. I can't remember. Anyway, companies, we have not yet gone into momentum as a business overall. So this is for me, over time, it's taken quite a long time to get me to the point where I'm really totally utterly convinced that Zinzino is a legacy business. What I mean by that is it's going to be here by the time we've gone.
We're here for our grandchildren,
Yeah,
which is,
and as
you
a
know,
consequence, it's going to be here for the grandchildren.
yeah.
So what I'm saying is this is unlimited, because all you do is build another team.
We know that a team gives you 100 bonus each month. We know that the phone bonus is €200 each month. We know that the car bonus is 1,000 each month. So we get all those at this precise moment in time. The customer acquisition bonus, you know, again, you can get up to €6,500 per month.
You're going to get that across your team.
You've obviously got your different bonuses that you have, your mentor bonus and everything, your one-time bonuses. I mean, just astonishing.
Let's
opportunity.
move on, because this is the point that drives all of it, and we're going to cover this quite quickly. So listen, we invite, we present, we follow up.
I'll probably put the things. Yeah, carry on.
Sorry, you're going to put them both. You're going to let me see everybody. Oh, happy days.
There we go.
So this is the point about what this is really what I'm actually driving at, is it's the potential's only one thing, which is potential. It's you don't drive anything if you're not doing the daily activity. And this is why you will hear us continually push and cajole and motivate wherever possible the concept of prospecting. Because if you've got no one in your pipeline, no one's coming out the other end as a yes, a no, or a maybe.
Yeah.
And these are the things we do. We prospect, we contact, we create appointments, we make a presentation, we follow up, and we create customers, or not.
But we also know that you know, if you're new in the business, that you probably don't feel confident in doing those presentations by yourself. And I wouldn't, you know, I've been doing this business now, or we've been doing this for like 37 years now. So we are quite confident. We just need to learn the words, if you like. But it's prospecting, you know, prospecting people every day, adding more people into your prospect list, you know, and that's really so important, because if you don't do that, then you end up with one person that you're going to pin your hopes on.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden that one goes, no, I don't fancy that. And then all of a sudden you're back to the beginning again. And that is one of the things that I don't think Lauren heard. Okay. That's one of the things that people do kind of say, oh, it's not fair, you know, kind of so and so didn't you know, didn't come on board, you know, I've got to start all over again. We know that happens. So the more people you have this, you're not bothered by it. You're not bothered by the fact that you didn't get Freddie Brown, but you've got Andrea, you've got Betty, you've got whatever the names, you know, you've got these people in there, and you go, actually, okay, well, that, and then you can always go back. As long as you leave that door open, you can always go back to that person who said no, because I always say to them, and Nigel does the same, you know, can I keep in contact with you? Because I'd love to let you know how I'm getting on. And, you know, by doing that, you leave that door open then to go back over it and just say, I just thought I'd let you know. You know, I was talking about getting to that, you know, that director level. I've got it. I've just won a holiday to Mexico. Isn't that cool? I just wanted to share that with you. And I'm also now making around about 6,000 to 7,000 a month. Happy days. And all of a sudden they might go, actually, perhaps I ought to have a look at that again. Might have to have a look at that again. And again, it's because people are so used to dismissing things without really knowing the full facts, because they've heard someone else go, actually.
Well, this is the problem with opinion.
Yeah.
And like especially with people's, yes, well, yeah. The adage is opinions are like belly buttons. Everyone's got one, and they serve no useful purpose. The problem for most of us is we listen to people who are uneducated in terms of what we do, and their perception of what we do is not particularly complimentary for whatever reason it is they choose to give it. So don't ask.
I think one of the things that Nigel had said over the last 37 years was to professionalize what we do, to professionalize it to a point where people kind of go, actually, what do you do again? And you know, one of the best things that I will always remember, we, in the company that we were with for nearly 20 years, we were doing extremely well, and month on month it was pretty well doubling every couple of months, wasn't
When
it?
we were
Every
in
few
momentum.
months. When we were in momentum, and we were very thankful for that, and you know, full of gratitude for that. But we went and went to look for a new house. We wanted to upgrade our house, and I mean, we're talking 2000 now, so it's quite a while ago now.
Actually, it wasn't.
Well, it was 1999.
Oh, yeah, because we
All
moved in.
I know we moved in
Right.
2000.
So let's have a
But, all
domestic
right.
while
Okay,
everybody
we'll
can
have a
witness
domestic.
it.
Thanks. But that house was £575,000.
No, it's 585,000.
All right, beg it. Well, we paid that though.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Okay. So £585,000, and that was outside our reach completely, we thought. Anyway, when we went to see a friend of ours who's an agent, and I said, what houses have you got on the market? And he showed us this house, and he said, oh, I've got something up your street, really like it. And I said, oh, what sort of price? And he said, well, it's above $500,000. Is that a problem? And I kind of went, no.
Mm-mm.
And he went, oh, okay. He said, you still doing your what did I can't remember. He didn't say pyramid selling,
No,
did he?
well, I think he did actually, yeah.
Oh, he might have said pyramid selling. I can't remember now. It's so long ago. And it was just like, yeah, we are. And he said, how's it going? And I went, well, reasonably well. You know, so it was a case of, oh, okay. Anyway, we went on to buy that house, which was 585. And so for us, it was actually kind of then all of a sudden that chap was now talking to us, talking to people about our business and saying, oh, this might be a good thing for you to have a look at. They're doing really well with it. So all of a sudden that perception of what we were doing, which was all a bit, you know, kind of a bit of a strange business as far as he was concerned, you're pyramid selling. I'm going, yeah, we're doing really well though. So it was quite an interesting kind of scenario, but that's not the reason I'm telling you that. It's just that, you know, kind of making that professionalizing that is what it's about. So we know that we are able to explain that really quite well. And it's that making those appointments, having a meeting, having a presentation, doing it with each of you. If that's what you need us to do, we're more than happy. And again, some of you reach out, some of you don't. We know that we can get people over the line pretty well.
So let me just explain again why we do this, because this is what you have to teach your own people. And that's the whole reason why I talk about this all the time, and I say this pretty much every time we have this team meeting. This is not about you, it's not about us. It's about the system we have and the concept that drives the potential for people from a business perspective and from a product perspective. The essence of delivering what we have to offer, the more you make it about you, the less success you will have. Why do I say it? Because essentially, if you're talking to people about the business, I'm focused on the business here, not so much about the product, because product and building customers is a very different and personal thing. But building partners is something that takes confidence on the part of the person that you're pitching to see that the business offers them what they want. And the challenge for most of us is in giving people confidence that you can deliver on their expectations. So what do I mean? What do I mean by that? Well,
I think we also, I should say, I think we don't ask enough questions.
Well,
you know, we tell them about what we're doing, but we don't actually ask them what they're looking for.
The challenge is when we present what we do. So we start to talk about what Zinzino is, what it can deliver, the money that's available within it. We give them all this information. What's running through their heads is, can I do this? Can I do this? Now, certain of us would look at people involved and go, yeah, I could do that, because that's the level of their competence, because they can learn it quickly. They're competent people anyway.
Yeah, some of
they
them
know
are
how to
experienced
pitch.
in...
They may have experience and so on. But the others, the ones that we need to be attractive to as well, don't have those skills. They don't have that life experience. They don't have that confidence to be able to do what you're doing with them. And that's why using us and using the upline to do the presentation is so important, because it takes you out of the way. And this is not an ego problem. What happened?
So also what I would say, so we've got Anthony here, who's, you know, he's in the States. He's just gone out there to start a career in football and college, etc., or university, and he's using the product. He knows that he's out of balance, and he also knows he wants to improve his results. So for him, it might not be an easy thing to talk about the business, and I understand that, but luckily we can. And no one's going to question us because we actually have the success behind us. But I can't tell him how to, you know, play a football game. I wouldn't even begin to know how to play a football game. And I know there's some people who will on here. So Paul's an ex-coach.
Yeah, and we've got a professional footballer and his dad here.
Yeah, professional footballer and his dad in our home now. So that, you know, kind of that's one angle. But also, if Anthony's talking to his fellow footballers and maybe they're getting injured an awful lot, just maybe reach out and go, would you like to know how you can improve your recovery rates? Yeah. So it's a real biohack. It's a real biohack because it improves it quite dramatically within 4 months. Now, 4 months is nothing at all. But if he's not confident in understanding what he's got to say to someone, that's where we come in and actually do that job for him.
So here's the secret. All you have to do is
building his team and ours.
Learn how to ask someone to talk to us. So you don't need to do 2, 3, 4, 5.
We do that for you.
No, well, we do. We do the prospecting bit that gets
with
us
them
through. Well, we help you to prospect when you've got someone who's willing to listen. That's the point. So we take you out of the picture in order to put us in it, simply to convey the information. Why? Because we're the unimpeachable third party. You will hear me say that all the time. They can't judge us. They can only judge our information. You're just the good inviter. This is the secret to building a massive network. You don't have to know all this stuff. All you have to know is how to invite people to talk to someone else. If you crack that, you crack this as a business completely.
So, yeah, and you know, I can't reiterate how important it is, because the likes of Tomas, the likes of Kelly, who are practitioners. So, for instance, Tomas is an amazing Amatsu practitioner. Kelly is an amazing homeopath and, you know, a nutritionist. I'm not. But I can big them up, but they can do the same with me, and they do the same with me. And so I'm more than happy to help. No, I've had 2 calls with Tomas's people this week. So I had a great call with one lady today who's a practitioner who actually wants to get out of what she's doing to become more flexible in with her time. And Kelly, I know that, you know, she's talking to practitioners as well. So she's able to give a slant to it about how it's impacted on her lifestyle and her business, because she's able to have more time to do things. So it's really, really powerful. And please, please, please just message us and say, when can you do a call? Can you do a call here? Can you do a call there? Whether it's product, whether it's business, makes no difference. We will do those things for us. On that note, we are going to actually stop, aren't we? Because we've got 5 minutes to go, and dinner has just arrived after a busy party day. So I will post this in the.
So before you finish, let me just please revisit the list of current people you're talking to. We've got how many days left? 7-8 days left of the
days.
month.
Yeah.
Next month, 200% ECB. As you all know, you only need one Ultimate Partner Kit partner to come on board with the right intention. And those people are the ones that are going to drive the volume for you and for us during September. And if you fill our diary with presentations for new partners who are excited to get started, then your business will explode and our business strengthens as a consequence of that. And we help you get where you want to go, because, you know, at the end of the day, whatever it is you want out of your Zinzino business is personal. It always is. It might be health, it might be income, it might be legacy, it might be friendship, it might be all kinds of different things that are important to you. But what drives the activity is sharing what we have as a potential with others. And our job is to help you do that most effectively. So whatever it is you want, declare it to yourself. That means invite some people
And tell us as well.
to talk. That's
Yeah.
it. And we'll help you build it. That's the essence of it. It's a very simple process. Invite, present, follow up, promote the next event, really. Those are the four actual activities that we do. Invite, present, follow up. And you do that and again and again and again. You help others get what they want, and that's going to give you whatever you want.
Right. On that note, we are finishing the call. So forgive us for kind of breaking away, but as I say, dinner has just arrived and we're hungry.
Enjoy.
Okay, guys, I'll post it a little bit later in the Flawless Diamond group, the recording, so you can go back and revisit it if you wish to. And please do share with other people in your team that have not been on the call tonight. And so look forward to it. Take care, guys. See you soon.
Night all.
Bye.